are trespassing.
Yeah.
Please leave the area.
See that?
This area is under video surveillance and you have been recorded.
Yeah. I am actually here at the front gate of the infamous Skinwalker Ranch. Check out Randy's shop and buy something. It's a one-of-a-kind handmade art pieces. You're not gonna find it anywhere else. What was inside of this big backpack was this red pouch of pigment. And there's a whole big ball of red ochre sitting in there. You're gonna have to figure out a way to climb up and over this. We're in. Wow, that is so cool.
Definitely a grinding stone.
This is just amazing. Sure enough. Wow, these are so cool. It's gonna lead to some new discoveries that nobody's ever seen before. You ready? There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past. Maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. I have all day today basically to myself, and then I'm going to be hooking up with Kaleb and maybe the archaeologist and one of the locals who's going to be helping take us around to show us some of the indigenous artifacts in the region. Plus, I might get access onto Skinwalker Ranch, but again, anytime I go on there, a lot of that is confidential and I'm not really allowed to talk about it or even film it except for private research that we're doing. And so under contracts with the History Channel and other things like that, I have to be really discreet and careful about exactly what I do. So I think what I'm going to do is after I get some supplies, I'm going to pop down near Skinwalker Ranch this morning and start the day off with some research in and around the area of Bottle Hollow. I think I'm going to go to the reservation office and actually get a permit to see if I can go around Bottle Hollow and do a little bit of walking around there, investigating and all of that. So if I can, I'm going to wind up checking out some other indigenous artifacts and petroglyphs, rock art around the area today, and then wind up having dinner with family. And then depending on how things are going and the weather looks, I think I'm going to do some UFO night watching, sky watching tonight. Maybe do my own version of what you would consider CE5, reverse remote viewing protocol, to try and make contact with any extraterrestrials, UFOs, or see if we can see any lights in the sky. Tomorrow, I'm going to be hooking up with Kaleb, maybe the archaeologist, and a couple of other people, possibly having access onto Skinwalker Ranch and other locations in and around the area that may have indigenous prayer circles, these stone circle medicine wheels that were used in these sacred rituals and ceremonies by the indigenous people and Native Americans, and some of them could be hundreds if not thousands of years old. And so today I'm actually over here on the edge of Bottle Hollow. That is Bottle Hollow right there. If you've been watching season 4 of Skinwalker Ranch, in episode 2, they actually have a member of the Ute tribe come and talk about a time when he was sitting here by Bottle Hollow and projecting some music out of his speakers, and it was in the middle of the daytime, and he actually caught evidence of a UFO or UAP up in the sky right above the lake here. Plus there's tons of oral traditions and stories of weird things underneath the water and sightings of UFOs going in and out of the lake. And it's also, we're just like really close, a couple of miles up there past Bottle Hollow is where Skinwalker Ranch is. But I wanted to start everything right here today at this incredible Ute memorial. This is right on the edge, in line with Bottle Hollow, right in line with Skinwalker Ranch and the entire Ute Nation here on the reservation. And this monument, a lot of people don't know when they come up and walk through it, that this is actually designed as a giant prayer circle. This entire monument, the way that the fence line and the property is laid out, is a huge medicine wheel. It even has all of the spokes of the wheel. It goes in a giant circle. It could even be considered a big prayer sun circle because of the spires in the middle that would cast shadows and everything. But this is just an incredible monument that goes in a complete circle all the way around, with the spokes of the wheel going into the center of the monument. So even though this is kind of technically built and dedicated to the war veterans that fought for the United States Army and the military out of the Ute tribe that died in the line of duty, this memorial is still undeniably a giant medicine wheel with the spokes and a circle. This whole place falls in line with Bottle Hollow and Skinwalker Ranch and the whole Uintah Basin and the mysteries of this phenomena. So I find it interesting that there could be a stone spiral or an old megalithic artifact or circle on the mesa at Skinwalker Ranch, but then they also have this giant cement modern medicine wheel right here as a memorial that you can actually come in and walk around. I just think it's absolutely incredible. The amount of detail on this statue, so cool. That is pretty amazing, that shot right there. I think it's so unreal that you can come here and you're right close to Skinwalker Ranch, right by Bottle Hollow. You could sit here and eat lunch in your car or have a picnic right next to this big medicine wheel. And the entire time, oh, that's really cool. It's got all the military tags, pins. We're just gonna do a walk around tour like you're here with me. And this has all the names of individuals from the Korean War. I don't mean to skip over everything, I'm just being a little bit efficient with my time today too. So here, even here in the center of the prayer circle, look at that at the top. There's like a pyramid at the top with a box. What is it? I wonder what that is. Do they shine a light out of that? Is there like a big light, a beacon light that comes out of the top of that? I wonder if that's a big light bulb in there. And then look down here, this is the center. And then look how many times the name Sesbuch is on here. Larry, he was like one of the elders and heads of the Ute tribe. Okay, I'm directly underneath the pyramid. In the very center of the medicine wheel, turning clockwise. And I'm gonna stand here and look over Bottle Hollow and look to the north, because these wheels were actually spiritually in the ceremony in conjunction. Now I'm gonna exit out this way and we're gonna walk a full clockwise circle around the entire wheel and circumference. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna look up in the sky and over Bottle Hollow, and all together as you watch the video. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter if you're watching this video in the future and I'm actually filming this right now in what would be considered the past. According to quantum entanglement, the phenomena, it doesn't matter, right? So we should be able to look up in the sky and all together as I walk clockwise around this giant medicine wheel, and we think about how these were designed to be like the wheel of time and they had to do with the northeast, south, and west, also in conjunction with the different aspects of your soul being in alignment with the cosmic rotation and cycles of the universe and the stars. These wheels would have been in alignment with the North Star, or even Vega, or depending on if you're in Egypt, it would have been Theban, I think is what the star would have been back when they built the pyramids then, or Thuban. And these wheels of time sometimes were even in a swastika shape. And over on the border across in Colorado, there's even a giant medicine wheel, probably even as big as this one, if not bigger, that is made of stone out in the desert in the same way, and it's in a swastika shape. And it doesn't have anything to do with the Nazis. It has to do with the Big Dipper and its rotation around the North Star, and how what you're doing, going clockwise, ceremonially, and in your soul, being in alignment with your intentions and integrity, and trying to be a good person in your mind, soul, and your actions, your intentions and everything, and with the earth and the universe, you put all of that in the same pattern and cycle in alignment with the North Star, in the alignment of the universe. And you flow with that in your mind like a meditation, and you pinpoint in your mind exactly where you are, and you invite any kind of quantum time traveling entities or spirits from another dimension who are doing the same thing and able to travel through time in the same way, almost like a beacon or a giant antenna. We use our mind and meditation, and we send out a signal, and we visualize, like from overhead, this giant wheel, and exactly where you are on Earth, and in conjunction with Bottle Hollow, Skinwalker Ranch, and the phenomena. And we basically send out a signal through the beacon with our mind and consciousness together, irregardless of time in the future or the past, or the I'm here now, and now we're watching the video all together in this premiere. But the idea is, just like Stephen Greer and others and the remote viewers from the Stanford Research Institute who were at Mount Wilson Ranch and then moved to Skinwalker Ranch, that they were doing this type of reverse remote viewing, basically sending out a signal with meditation and human consciousness, where you visualize this wheel like a beacon shooting up through quantum space-time and cycling in conjunction with the universe, sending out a signal and telling whatever might be listening or watching along that same wavelength exactly where I am and what we're doing, and invite something to appear in the sky at some point, either today or tonight. Or also, it would be really cool for that to happen with other witnesses, maybe even tomorrow with Kaleb, with the archaeologist friend, or even right now if we just sit here and think about it. So okay, we've done a loop and a half around the entire medicine wheel. So I'm not doing it exactly the way obviously the ritual's done. We're just kind of walking and meditating. So I'm gonna be quiet now. We'll look up in the sky, look over Bottle Hollow, go back into the middle of the wheel, and maybe you guys learned a little something about the method or the technique or the magic of what some of these medicine wheels could have been about in ancient indigenous times, and why they actually matter and are connected with beings from the future or from other dimensions or spirits from the past. How these wheels kind of defy space-time and open up gateways or portals for these events and phenomena to occur. Okay, now let's just be quiet in the center as we return here again. Watch the sky and we see what happens. Thanks for sharing that experience with me, and maybe you guys learned a little something about how I do things. So I'm gonna keep watching the skies and looking and doing this continual type of like meditation, contact protocol. I have my own version. I have some audio that I can play through the speakers of the truck, but maybe I'll do that more tonight when I have the night vision out, so I can use my phone to play the audio track that I like to use. And I think at some point I'm gonna put this entire system and methodology that I've kind of developed that uses Stanford Research Institute's remote viewing protocol mixed with some Monroe Institute gateway sort of experience and protocol, along with Buddhist meditation and a little bit of like Stephen Greer's CE5 type sprinkled on top, but it's all done in my own way. But anyway, so I'm gonna keep watching the sky and everything, but something you guys should all know is that if you're going to come to these spots, this is like a cool place that you can stop and hang out, have lunch or a picnic, explore this giant medicine wheel and do some sky watching or night sky watching. But if you do go in and around Bottle Hollow or anywhere around Skinwalker Ranch, day or night, you have to go into the reservation office right up the road nearby Bottle Hollow and make sure and just go in and get the right permits or passes and pay the fees in order to have access to go on to Bottle Hollow. Because if you just start driving around out there or exploring or parking out at night looking for UFOs, you're gonna get a ticket or even get arrested. So buckle up, guys. That's what we're gonna do tonight. I'm gonna sit here when it's quiet and there's nobody around. I'm gonna play audio frequencies and sound and do my entire protocol of meditation sitting here in the truck overlooking Bottle Hollow and Skinwalker Ranch and the horizon. But right now, next, what we're gonna do is cruise up right around Bottle Hollow, go up to the area and the circumference and drive all the way around Skinwalker Ranch and give you guys a whole idea of it. Don't forget to check all the links down in the description box below, where you can join the Skinwalker Ranch Insiders group, where you can get all the live stream webcams, the podcasts, the live chat interviews, and check out all the Secret of Skinwalker Ranch Season 4 insider access interviews with the cast and crew and everybody there on Skinwalker Ranch. But also you get to check out when I might sell this necklace on my Etsy or on eBay, and also some of the things like this hat is actually an EMF radiation shielded. It seriously is like a tinfoil hat. See that? It's lined with this protective shielding, and it has this nice cool corduroy feel to it. I have a couple of different types of hats and even beanies that are EMF shielded. Plus I also wear this from Museum of Tarot, which is a halo pulse magnetic pulsar that I can set to different frequencies and stuff, and it creates sort of like an electromagnetic field, like a bubble halo around me, including the shielding of this. Because if we're going to go around Skinwalker Ranch or these types of areas, one of the commonalities and the things that occurs is getting hit with microwaves or directed energy beams of some kind, or even doses of radiation in all of its different varieties. And so I think it's important to take care of yourself rather than just going out there and hoping for the best. So I not only do meditation, I do sage, I do a lot of spiritual preparation and make sure that my intentions are in line. But then I'm also not dumb, and I use, you know, what we would call like techno shaman technology, like the halo pulse and EMF protection, like Faraday shielded beanies and hats, and they even have sun hats and other stuff. So anyway, make sure and check out my link tree and my website and stuff, and you can find out all of that. But right now we got some work to do. And this is the Ute Indian Tribe Fish and Wildlife Department. There is their website, there is their phone number right there. This is where you've got to pull up and actually go in and get your permits before you even step foot or drive on anything off a paved road here, or these guys are going to pull you over, give you tickets, give you fines, because you're going to be trespassing on the Ute reservation land or on Skinwalker Ranch. And here in the offices, which are really cool, full of like awesome wildlife and decorations and stuff. But basically they're informing me that if you leave the public roads or anything like that, or even go down to Bottle Hollow or anywhere around the reservation, if you film and do photography, that's considered trespassing. So don't do it. You're allowed to like fish and camp and do certain things like that and get permits, but do not film and do not do photography. Well, there you have it, guys. That's the verdict. This is Bottle Hollow, but basically if you drive anywhere off of the paved roads and try to film anything or go down there for entertainment purposes, trying to take pictures or do a video, you're gonna get a ticket for trespassing. Pretty much all you can do is drive by like this and film out the window of the car, get a sense of it, and say, hey, there's Bottle Hollow, right? That's where all the legends happen and where things seem to go in and out of the water and fly overhead, and people see it. So see, we can drive on the road right here and film and see if we see anything. But if we drive down there onto those dirt roads, or pull off to the side of the road, or start goofing around right here, you're gonna get stopped by the tribal police. In fact, I think there's a tribal police right up ahead here, so we're gonna make sure we're obeying the law. So tonight what we're gonna do is go back to that war memorial spot where the big medicine wheel is, stay in the truck in the parking lot, maybe get out and walk around at night a little bit and film and do some stuff around that medicine wheel, but mostly we're gonna stay there in the parking lot and not try to go down by Skinwalker Ranch or drive up around Bottle Hollow at night. It is kind of cool though to drive up around here, and if you did want to get the permits to be able to go down there and do fishing and stuff like that, you can go in the office and really enjoy the lake. A lot of people go there and swim and enjoy it recreationally as a place that they do with their families. But the girl at the desk there at the office, she was really cool, and she's like, oh yeah, we get a lot of people that come down here and try to get into Skinwalker Ranch and poke around Bottle Hollow, and they give out all kinds of tickets and even arrest people for trespassing. So I just want to inform everybody how to do it the proper way. We are down at the campground, RV parking and pavilions area, just doing a drive through the main parking area. Hey look, there's a goose hanging out. Right, hey goose. But coming down here, getting out of your car, messing around, looking for UFOs, hiking around is something that is not allowed. Now there has been a lot of interesting stuff that has occurred even on this main road, because Skinwalker Ranch is directly over here to the right, to the west of the road here. It's about 1.5 miles up on the road, but this is the mesa all here, and over here on the top of this hill or somewhere nearby, James Keenan has uncovered that NASA was doing drilling and had stuff embedded into the hillside over there, and we've never been able to get access to go and check it out, but there is some interesting stuff that's been done by government organizations in the past. I also want you to pay attention, and I'll put links to a video where James Keenan and Chris Bartell and I came through here, and we investigated these high power lines that go right over the top of the Skinwalker Mesa, right behind the ranch. And those are very poorly maintained power lines that are leaching and leaking tons of electromagnetic energy into the atmosphere, so much that you can pick it up on the equipment and actually feel it in your body. It causes like a really strong vibration in your chest. It makes it difficult to breathe. You can almost taste like a copper metallic taste on your tongue in the back of your throat, and it gives you this weird funny feeling in your head even just walking up close to those power lines. So I think it's interesting to pay attention to some of all those compounding things that are occurring in this area right along Skinwalker Ridge that could be amplifying the geology and the aquifer system, or doing all kinds of stuff, creating these gravitational anomalies, these wormholes, these dimensional time warps, and all kinds of stuff accidentally or even intentionally back in the Bigelow days, who knows. But I just turned right. We're driving up the road again, going back to the main entrance at Skinwalker Ranch. We'll get out and film again there for just a little bit, and then I'm going to take you on a whole loop around the property of the ranch and just kind of show you what it's all about in the circumference area and the size of the place, because it's kind of hard to actually fathom and take it all in and how huge this property really is. This is Skinwalker Ranch Ridge. This is all technically off the property here. There are residential people and families that even live on this road, but this is the actual ridgeline in the mesa. It's part of the East Valley area, where all along this ridgeline, if we look, I'm going to slow down. Whenever I drive up here, I'm always fascinated by the prevalence of how much it seems like there's like stone altars and monuments and possibly things up and around on the ridge stacked up, and possibly even entrances and things that if I ever had the ability to access some of that property, it might be interesting to see what we could find over there. But this is the actual road where there has been a lot of incidents occur, and above the property right here, this is all Skinwalker Ranch. Everything that we're seeing out the window here is all Skinwalker Ridge and the property that has been investigated for this paranormal activity and UFOs for several decades now. And we're gonna pull right up to the main gate again today as a part of our journey into the unexplained in these mysterious locations. But the paved road ends right here, and there is some residential properties here. Former caretakers that used to live in this area and watch over this area for Bigelow lived in some of these houses up here on the edge of the property. And so a lot of the stories that you hear about the incidents occurred up here at these properties on the left-hand side. And there's a lot of the ranch fields over here. This is the Skinwalker Ridge and the mesa. And I think all the Navajo stone circles and everything are up on top of the ridge up here. So I'll actually get out at the main gate here and we'll film some more, but I'm just gonna keep driving and show you guys out the window what it looks like to drive all the way up here so you get a sense of it. And I'm gonna zoom in some so you can see these rock formations and features on the mesa. And then here we are again back at the main gate. So I'm going to pull over here and park, and we can't cross these cement barriers until I'm actually with Kaleb and have permission to do that. I'm going to pan around the mesa and kind of show you guys the hillside, and then there is all these artifacts up on top of the East Valley over here that are associated with it. But right in the sky above us, behind me, is where they've been flying the drones, getting all the warping, the anomalies, the gravitational anomalies, very similar to what I've been finding and that our team has been discovering at Mount Wilson Ranch. And so right behind me, just up in the air, is where all of it seems to be happening, like a vortex or a funnel or some kind of a toroidal energy field that goes in and under the ground, that has an anomalous spot right above the ranch right up here. So after everything we've done today, walking around the medicine wheel and coming right here to the front gates of Skinwalker Ranch, looking up in the sky, if we just also combine our intentions and our thoughts almost like a meditation, let whatever entities outside of quantum space-time or whatever kind of phenomena or anomaly that might be here, even the Skinwalker itself, to invite it to be able to appear and show up on camera and see if we see anything at all throughout the duration of this, even when we come back and park in the parking lot tonight. So I'm just going to pan around and we'll look up in the sky and see if we see anything. All over here up on the mesa, on the ridge, is these Ute and Navajo, or maybe older, stone spiral ceremonial or ritual spiral wheel that might not actually be on Skinwalker Ranch property, but it is definitely affiliated with the phenomena that is happening there. And if you look at the hillside and up and around, how fascinating would it be to be able to go up there, explore and hike, look for artifacts, and see what you might be able to discover. There could be even more up there. There could be carvings, caves, all kinds of interesting things. Okay, I'm going to zoom out now, and I'm going to pan across the sky right above Skinwalker Ranch, because if there's any kind of an anomaly, it would be right here. And then you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to bust out my thermal imager, and we'll do a little bit of filming with that and see if we can see any kind of warping, lensing, or anomalies or anything strange on the thermal camera. I'm going to get the thermal imager out and just do some sky watching and panning around. Let's see what we can see. How cool. I also remembered I've got my Dicyanin goggles that have this violet purple hue that supposedly reveals things on the astral plane. Here we go.
Right now.
Yeah, if any of the security comes out, I know all those guys, but you're right, we shouldn't trespass.
Green flash happens to the point that it like shadows, we duck because it was like a meteorite or something, and we get up and it was just circling. Like not, it was three of them.
Just like a light, or three lights?
Three lights, yeah, circling, like orbiting.
There's petroglyphs right there. I just looked up here, boom, sure enough, cool little bean-shaped alien dudes.